they're gonna be doing backflips to get you to join.
Welcome, Peacemaker, or do you prefer Chris?
Either's fine.
Can you tell us a little about your skills?
I'm considered the finest marksman in the world.
The mic is off.
Yeah.
I am also proficient in hand-to-hand combat.
How many more of these do we have today?
Is that popcorn still here?
Love popcorn.
My buzz is getting really big lately, so.
I have a variety of helmets.
This guy sucks.
Excuse me? Am I supposed to be able to hear you guys?
Excuse me?
You were talking about your butt and stuff. And also you said that I suck.
It is not funny.
I don't get it. We saved the world.
I thought everyone finally treat us like heroes.
I don't need anybody else to just forge my own path.
You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto.
I've come to the conclusion you suffer from a particularly severe form of toxic masculinity.
What?
Argus has been monitoring Peacemaker ever since Rick Flag Sr. was named director. Does he know that I have?
Kill this sign? Yeah.
Bring me Peacemaker.
Mexicali, you scan for any anomalies throughout that house. Pony Boy, don't let him out of your sight. Titties, I want you to take the front door. Encino Man, you take the back door. Got it?
Yeah, but not the names, dude. You can't just call us that.
Where do you think we are, Berkeley?
We haven't always been great people. But we are the 11th Street Kids. No one will ever break us apart.
Oh, cool.
You ready for the next adventure, pal?
Keep on keeping on.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. James Gunn dropped a Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, and there's a whole bunch of Superman, DC in general related stuff going on here. Like, we have the full-on Justice Gang, which was what they're calling the team, the Justice League team that we see Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner and Isabella Merced's Hawkgirl on during the events of the Superman trailer. It's not the actual Justice League. They're calling themselves the Justice Gang, but it's more of an Easter egg for the Justice League International because Sean Gunn's Maxwell Lord is also in this teaser trailer. He's going to debut in the Superman movie. Of course, I'll be doing videos for all the episodes, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. It even kind of looks like James Gunn is going to make fun of himself with the whole DCU reboot and a bunch of multiverse stuff at the end of the trailer here. This is also probably how he explains the timeline from Season 1 to Season 2, because Season 1 took place in the Zack Snyder era DCEU with that version of the Justice League, like Henry Cavill Superman, Ben Affleck Batman, but now we're in the DCU with David Cornswith's Superman.
Who the f*** are you?
Notice him stepping through the door inside his father's pocket universe, and it seems like he's stepping into another house that universe's version of Peacemaker owns. One of my early theories for the series is that they could make him the psycho pirate of this whole DCU reboot, where he's like the one character who realizes that the universe is different, and like the main Justice League looks completely different. Like, why does Superman look different? Why does Batman look different? And nobody else thinks that it's weird. And because he's crazy and always spouts off about conspiracy theories, they just have him do that in the episodes. Early theory, I think the real big joke here is that Peacemaker from the DCEU sees this other DCU Peacemaker, and that's who it is. He kills him because, look, he's inside his pocket universe dimension here, wearing the other Peacemaker's uniform, but there's blood all over it. So maybe that other universe is the DCU, and he just takes his team to this other universe. Like, they just move to the DCU, and that's their funny joke during episode 1. Like, brief joke, and then they never address it again to set up this whole new DCU continuity. Also a way for James Gunn to tell more DCEU jokes, but I don't think he's clowning on Zack Snyder or anything like that. Like, they're actually friends behind the scenes. Like, they posted this picture together. Like, they are bros. But it is a funny way to explain the reboot. Like, oh, they just literally packed it up and moved to another universe. So this does confirm that Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, will not die during the events of the Superman movie, but I think we all assumed that, and they said that he would show up during the Green Lantern HBO series that's going to be releasing next year too, so we already kind of knew he was going to survive. What they're basically explaining is that Maxwell Lord uses his company to fund the team. That's why it has his company symbol, like his Lord Tech symbol on it. But the JG symbols stands for Justice Gang, not JL for Justice League. I am sure there'll be a bunch of jokes about this during the Superman movie. And one of the other firsts that we actually get during this trailer is this is the first time we've actually gotten dialogue from Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. We don't actually hear him talk during any of the Superman trailers so far, but we might actually get some in the next big Superman trailer, which James Gunn said is like right around the corner.
Bring me Peacemaker.
There's a lot of other familiar stuff going on here too, also showing up during the Superman movie, like Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. coming back from Creature Commandos into the Superman movie next, and then to this, coming after Peacemaker, it sounds like, also probably there for larger reasons too, like larger problems he's trying to deal with inside Argus. But the way James Gunn explained it, he has a vendetta against Peacemaker for killing his son because the events of his Suicide Squad movie are still canon to this. He said the only thing that isn't carrying over is that Justice League scene from the end of Peacemaker Season 1 for obvious reasons, because that is meant to be the Zack Snyder version of Justice League with like Henry Cavill's Superman, Ben Affleck's Batman, Wonder Woman, his Flash, Aquaman, because we even just saw Jason Momoa as a version of Lobo inside the Supergirl movie behind the scenes too. So I'm sure as characters come back in different ways, there'll be lots of questions about what's canon, what's not canon. We'll just address that episode to episode and trailer to trailer as we go along. It's not quite as complicated as it sounds, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Just starting at the beginning of the trailer footage, at some point after the beginning of Peacemaker Season 1, they don't explain exactly where in the timeline it falls, only that it's after the events of the Superman movie. Peacemaker seems like he's trading on their big win from Season 1, taking down the aliens, trying to make it on to a bigger superhero team, and it is the Justice Gang that we're going to see during the events of the Superman movie with Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, led by James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, playing Maxwell Lord. One of the first big jokes of the trailer is when he calls himself the world's best marksman. Technically, that would be Deadshot or Bloodsport. Both of them much, much better. Like, Bloodsport beat him during the events of that Suicide Squad movie, shooting a bullet through his bullet, so he is definitely not the best marksman. One of the other big firsts that we get during this scene is the first lines of dialogue from Isabella Merced's Hawkgirl, and obviously Sean Gunn's Maxwell Lord. Not sure how much of the series they're in, if it's just going to be this one scene where he tries out and fails to make it onto their team and they just spend an entire time clowning on him. But it does confirm that their team will still be a team after the events of the Superman movie. She jokes about her butt getting really big and that's why she's eating popcorn because it's lower calorie. We get a much better shot of Guy Gardner's Green Lantern ring too. Vigilante back working at the same restaurant he was working at during the events of Season 1. John Economos and Amelia Harcourt back, they showed up a couple times during DCEU stuff, like during the Black Adam stuff during Shazam post-credit scene where he gets recruited for the Justice Society.
You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto.
James Gunn was kind of funny about that scene. He said that he had no idea why those characters were there, like he wasn't responsible for putting them in that scene or even writing that scene, why those characters specifically would be recruiting Shazam for the Justice Society. Why wouldn't the Justice Society be recruiting for their own team? Economos makes a Grand Theft Auto reference. We literally just got the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. That feels very timely, like maybe they had that in mind. Adebayo seems like she's living on the down and out. Things aren't going so well for her because remember, she outed her mother, Amanda Waller, in what she was doing with Argus, basically leading people to their deaths, killing all kinds of people indiscriminately. Previously, she was working for her mother at Argus, like she was a plant on the team for her mother. So obviously now she's living on her own with no money, it seems like. Seems like somebody in this bar comes on to Harcourt and she just lays them out. They kind of got into this during Season 1 where like people would come on to her and she would basically just lay them out. There's a joke about a lawyer or a counselor of some kind telling her that she suffers from toxic masculinity. I am sure there'll be all kinds of manosphere jokes going on in the background too. Peacemaker is like a very conspiracy-oriented, manosphere-adjacent kind of character. Like, he just works with those kinds of jokes. Then there's a bunch of new Argus characters, and Economos explains that Argus has been monitoring Peacemaker ever since the events of Season 1 because of what happened with Rick Flag Sr.'s son, and he's taken over Argus from Amanda Waller. So he's basically using all those resources just to monitor him, and it seems like he's going to come after him at some point during the season, like you see him directly come after him. Gonna get some good old-fashioned revenge for killing his son. This is how they invoke the events of the Suicide Squad movie and canonize a lot of that stuff. I'm not sure who Tim Meadows is playing, but everybody recognizes him. He was just on The Mandalorian Season 3. Most people remember him from Saturday Night Live, but he's done a ton of movies and a ton of TV shows. Got a whole bunch of funny nicknames for all the different team members. He references the 11th Street Kids again. That's a reference to the song that they used during Season 1 to sort of rally the team together after one of their first big victories. Seems like they all have a party together. Then we get Eagly back. Obviously, Eagly, one of the biggest characters to the series. Then it seems like Michael Rooker is actually playing Apache Chief on the series, just the way this is presented here, because it was a teaser for Apache Chief earlier this season, but he didn't reveal which actor was playing the character. Now we can say it's Michael Rooker. You also remember him as Savant in James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. They killed him off in hilarious fashion. Joining Jason Momoa is a character who started as one person in the DCEU and is playing a totally different character inside the DCU.
Hey everybody, I'm here with this douchebag, Michael Rooker.
But there's a bunch of stuff going on during this. Obviously lots of questions, more questions than answers really, just because of all the multiverse twists at the end of the trailer and all the connections with the Superman movie and those characters. The way that James Gunn talked about it, that new Superman trailer should come in the next couple weeks, if not very, very soon. What'll probably happen too is because they're in the middle of filming the Green Lantern HBO series, is we'll get a teaser trailer for that by the end of the year. That won't release episodes until next year, so Peacemaker is the only live-action DCU canon show that they'll be releasing this year. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. I just did a new trailer video for Godzilla and Kong. Click here for that, and click here for my Thunderbolts breakdown with all the Easter eggs and everything from the movie. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.